They won't do nothing?
We'll be sideways.
Oh, okay.
All right. So.
Get closer. Do it like that.
Lies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning. We have had some serious difficulties in trying to log on to Facebook via the computer, so I hope that you have not left us. We started at 8, but it was just not allowing us to hit the go live button. That button continued to stay grayed out. So there are 2 versions that they have. We normally use the other version. And today it seemed like it was trying to, move us in the direction of using a newer version. And there are some things in there that we either have to set up or have or whatever. And it just didn't work out. So good morning to our Marriage Matters family. I'm going to just give my wife a kiss because she was so, she was just disturbed because she was really trying to start on time and it wasn't acting right. And so here we are now. So today is still a great day. It's still another way to connect. Even though we didn't do it directly from the computer, it doesn't matter. We have our cell phones, so we still have an opportunity to share and to be able to chime in and discuss marriage matters because your marriage matters. Today we have a great topic to discuss. It is called Pray Power. So, hey, good morning, Miss Charlie.
Happy Mother's Day to you too, Miss Charlie.
Good morning, Miss Charlie. So we was having some technical difficulties, and it just, we tried to fix, but we went on and
we would have actually been
on time. But due to the technical difficulties that we were having, we just decided to use that cell phone. So we have to be close. So it's okay.
Good morning, Tabitha.
Hey, Tabitha.
Good morning, Lawanda.
So we're going to be talking about Pray Power and what we can do.
So y'all pray for me and my attitude when it comes to these electronics.
Yeah, well, we'll just keep moving. But the thing is, she was getting frustrated, and it's nothing to do with her as a person. It's just that the device wasn't working the way we wanted it to. And so we have another way to be able to connect, and so that's what we're doing right now. Let me try to readjust my coffee because I really don't want to let it go. But
good morning, Miss Rose.
Hey, Miss Rose, how are you? Okay, so I'm going to briefly just say what the scriptures are because normally we could type them in directly to the screen. But, you can be able to go back and check on these, and we'll make sure we announce each scripture that we cover. We're going to start with Ephesians 6 and 18, 2 Chronicles 7 and 14, Matthew chapter 18 and verse number 19, James chapter 5 and verse number 16, and 1 Thessalonians 5 and 17. Pray power. What does that mean? There's power in prayer, and there's definitely power in the agreement when a husband and wife pray together, touching and agreeing on something. Okay. It's not a prescripted timeline of when the prayer will be answered. It's not some toaster button that you push. It is not a microwave button that you push in order to get the answers that you need, but in the process of trusting and believing God for the answered prayer, that's where the real work lies, is that we trust the process and that whatever inner workings that God is doing through Jesus to us, we need to trust that process, we need to bask in that process, and we need to grow in that process. So I am going to turn this over to you. How much power? Oh, goodness. Oh, man.
Oh, the saga continues.
Yeah, my phone is getting low. Oh, my God. So we're going to go here. Go to.
It's called I didn't plug my phone up last night.
Ephesians, see, at least it's already in there. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse number 18.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Ephesians 6 and 18 says, praying always with all power and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
That means you pray, you don't stop praying, and you wait. That's pretty much what that means. It says praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto. Persevere. That means you don't give up and you don't say negative things that could sink your prayer.
Right.
Because if God is the God who delivers, if God is the God who heals, who sets free, who provides, who promotes, who favors, then you don't go before God even alone. But then when we're talking about praying with our spouse, you don't go before God together as a prayer and then say negativity about the prayer and then expect for the prayer to actually manifest and complete and accomplish what you said.
Right, because you're canceling all of that work out actually when you do that.
That's right. So we pray all the time. And I want to go back to that later. Praying all the time. It seems like that's just too spiritual. Okay, well, we'll go back to what spiritual and non-spiritual and all that stuff is. But pray power means that you trust God that He will do exactly what His word already said He would do. But while you're doing that, you praying for each other. Right. Now, she was getting upset. I didn't even get upset. But the issue is that because we compliment each other, it's not a big deal. I can pray for her, or I can be calm while she's not calm. That's why God give us the other traits in our personalities that sometimes we might not have. Now, I'm not saying she's just a not calm person. What I'm saying is, in this instance, dealing with this technology, it was just not working out. And when you want to do something really well and it's not working out for you, then it bothers you. If you want to promote something or you putting on some kind of program and then people start calling and saying I'm late, or you start getting upset, or you get anxious, or just things just pop up. But it's not a big deal. I could have just got upset too, and then we both could have been getting upset, and not even with each other, just getting upset with the computer, and then therefore missing out the opportunity to connect with you all. So when we talk about pray power, that's something that you can be doing with your spouse, and I'm gonna come back to that. But when you know that there are characteristics in your spouse that you yourself or she herself can pray about, you don't even always have to bring it up. If you see that that's something that God can elevate and you see it, even if the person knows it, they might not be praying about it for themselves. That's why God have you connected with your spouse. Because if you see an area for growth, if you see an area of opportunity to advance and get better as a human being, then you pray for your spouse. She prays for me. I know she prays for me because I got a lot of stuff to face when I leave out the house. And so I know she's praying for me. And I know she's praying for me on specific levels of my personality and also me having to deal with other people. Because regardless as to what I may think, everybody's different. Everybody doesn't think like you. Mm-hmm. And they don't react like you. They don't pray like you. Some have a relationship with God. Some have a relationship with a God. And so it's a lot of different factors in there. But God commanded us to be able to be, slow to anger and slow to wrath. Right. So when dealing with these type things. So I'm going to say, when we talk about pray power, there are so many things that we can do when we see there are things that can be addressed, whether it's from the leaders in the world, the leaders in the church, the leaders in the home, the leaders in our kids. Well, our kids are not leaders. Yes, they are. When they leave out that house, they're a leader. Because whatever they do, somebody's following or they following somebody. That's the way it is. And so we have an opportunity to pray if we see their characteristics, in our children that may need some support, that may need some leadership development. That's the word I would say. So I just wanted to use that scripture, Ephesians chapter 6 and 18, to kind of set the tone for what we will be covering. You know, when we pray on all occasions, we're going to go back and talk about that. It said pray without ceasing. Basically said pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. It says, with this in mind, be alert and always keep praying for all the Lord's people. You got plenty of people you can pray for. You know, we have plenty of people that we could be lifting up.
Right.
And we ain't always got to be talking about their imperfections and what they don't do well. We can be praying for those things because there might not be nobody else assigned to pray for them. And then when you notice there's a characteristic that can be upgraded or, you know, whatever you want to call it, you know, supported, you know it, and you don't do it, then you sit them back. Because
you know, it's awesome too when you've been praying for a person in that area or joining in prayer with that person in a specific area, and then you see that prayer come to pass, to manifest in their lives. That's an awesome testimony.
It's good because they don't, let's say that you're praying for a specific person. It could be a person at a job, or it could be somebody that kind of just spoke something, you know, around you, and, you know, they just was venting out, and they just wanted to let some of that off their head, and you took that to pray for them. And then, you know, over time, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And you see they got a smile on their face. You see that they're better. You know, I've just been going through some things, but now I have clarity. I feel a little bit better. And, you know, you'll feel good about not because it was you, but that in the secret places of your heart, you was lifting somebody else up in prayer, and you got a chance to see somebody else go through the process that you've already been through and is going through, and you see God manifest Himself in them because of you, your assignment, the one that God told to do it. Or if He didn't tell you to do it, but you heard and you said, man, I could apply some of that prayer to that. They need a partner. It's a silent partner. It's just like being in a business and you have those silent benefactors that don't want to be named. They don't want to be acknowledged. They don't want to be celebrated. They just want to support and give the money. They don't want nobody to know who they are. They just want to do that. So that's a cool thing to do. So we're going to transition over into 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse number 14.
Okay.
And we're going to keep going. And then we're going to read what is the devotional for the day. And then the questions that come off of that, our expectation when we start going through these questions is that you start coming through. We want you to start, I want this screen to start lighting up. All right.
So 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14 says, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sin, and I will heal their land.
Humble, lower yourself, pray, open your mouth, seek. That don't mean God come after you. That means you go after Him.
Right.
And then you will hear from heaven, and the land will be healed, which the land could be your home, the land could be your job, the land could be the things that your kids are facing that you feel powerless to help them because you're not at the school or you're not at the job that they work at. They talk about the situation, but they don't always know how to utilize the tools. They may see you going through stuff and they see you accomplishing it, but they don't know that. You got to walk your kids through how to deal with difficult, jealous, backstabbing people at the job. And so once they learn that, or I say once you help them to navigate those steps, they have another tool in their tool belt. Mm-hmm. But it goes back to humbling yourself, lowering yourself, mm-hmm. praying, seeking, and then waiting. Okay. All right. What does that say right there? Oh my goodness. Okay, I can barbecue a little bit, Mr. Jackson. I can barbecue a little bit, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see how we can work it out.
I want to go back here where it says, humble themselves and pray and seek my face. Uh-huh. But it also says, turn from your wicked ways. So that means you can't do all of that, pray about a situation, and you still out there doing your dirt. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not saying that you're not going to fail at some point, mm-hmm. Because when you're trying to come out of something, there are going to be setbacks. That's just a reality.
Yes.
But just because you may have a setback, you still got to pray your way out of that. They don't mean sit back and sit in it. Mm-hmm. You got to sit back, reset, and move forward.
Control, Alt,
delete.
Yay! I can hit the button. Forward. Control, Alt, delete.
It's way over there.
It's way over there. Yeah, so it's very important that we think about that. You can't be praying and be a devil dog, or like people like, no, man, I'm not listening to that girl. I'm not listening to them because no.
So I know I said in earlier broadcasts this year that, God put on my heart that this is a year of responsibility and accountability. So if there's problems or issues in a marriage, what that means is not always pointing the finger at your spouse. You have to look at yourself. What is your responsibility? What is your part in whatever's going on? And then how is it that I think we talked about that last Saturday, about making that list, about the power couple.
Yeah, they had homework.
Y'all did have homework. How many of y'all did your homework?
I feel like Bronny.
So we're supposed to make a list about what the power couple is.
Yes.
Then on the other side of that, you were supposed to list what keeps you from becoming a power couple. Mm-hmm. And then at the bottom, you're supposed to find scriptures
and apply those to
the things that's keeping you from achieving becoming a couple.
So we're going to extend your homework assignment to it's ongoing. And let me say why. Because each one of those scriptures that you may apply to a specific thing, or not thing, but a specific situation in your marriage, you have to give God time to work on the individual, and you have to give God time to work on you. So go in and do that. Well, they don't want to do it. Then you do it on your side.
Okay.
And you put some scriptures together that you may see that, hey, these are things that's causing us not to be able to, whatever it is, if it's intimacy, if it's communication, if it's just feeling valued or whatever it is, you start.
It could be just you getting on each other's nerves, and it's some little bitty thing. Mm-hmm. It's just some little can't put your finger on it type thing. And you can't figure out what it is.
Well, it got to be something you can put your finger on because that's what's getting on your nerves.
But I'm saying it could be different things collectively. Yeah. And so even if you can't figure out what that is, just pray and ask God to read, God, what is that? Mm-hmm. Or where did it start from?
Yeah.
That's even better. Whatever this is, where did it start from? Mm-hmm. Let's go back there and then move forward. Finding those scriptures and trying to pinpoint it.
Yes. Look at who's at the bottom of the screen looking at a smile.
He sent a text message.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to move on to
Matthew chapter 18
and 19.
And verse number 19. While you're doing it, I'm going to still swallow this.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 19.
Yes.
And it says, again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth, touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven.
Give me your fist.
I'm going to read that again.
Wonder Twins activate. Remember that Wonder Twins when we put the rings together? And
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we good. I mean, I'm just saying, because there's power in the prayer of the two.
Right.
One can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10,000. Mm-hmm. And then when you have children and they're combining with and it has nothing to do with just being married. It's just one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. Mm-hmm. Because we have, it's six of us. I mean, golly, can you think about that? 600,000, boom, get rid of all. So I think that we just looking at different ways to see what and how you can pray. Right. And so we still haven't hit that yet, but we will. So
okay. And also during the broadcast, we want you to like it, share it, send us some hearts, and share this with some other people so we can.
Because we want to improve too, and
yes.
we really want to impact the lives of people. We want you to get the best out of your marriage. Do all that you can, and that's it. But, I mean, the marriage is one tip of the iceberg. You have children, that's another component. Finances is another component. Business ideas, books, and whatever else you want to do is a component. And I will say this, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the lesson, is that, between, this time while we've been at home in this space, different things that we've kind of just set aside and just didn't complete, we're in the process of completing those things.
Right.
So we're looking for great things for us. And those great things for us they're not specific to us. They're to share out.
Right.
But at the same time, is two reasons why we want to do what we're doing. One is to be able to share God's word and be able to promote what we do. And that's try to have the best marriage that we can. We've had our parents be an example. We've had our grandparents be an example. We've learned from the positive and the things that could be improved on all of them. So now we're doing the same thing. We're working on us. We're still establishing our relationship with God. But also when we talk about business ventures and other things, we're leaving a legacy for our children.
Right.
So we've been talking to them about that. They're looking at us like, what are you talking about? Legacy. Hey. Just being honest with you, we want to be around for a long time, but the reality is you need to be ready to take the next step or do whatever it is. And so we want to leave you with some tools that's going to help you grow. And if it's a business idea and if it's something that we start doing well, hey, we're not going to be doing this stuff forever. Look here, we want y'all to take this and run with this. There's some things you can do. Right. So they're interested, They're interested until you start making them come and do like the work part. They're like, I don't do that. But the thing is, we love the challenge of pushing each other, and just really having the real conversation. Right. That sit on the porch, that sit in the bed, that walk down the street of us. Right. And when I do this, does this bother you? We have those conversations,
and those conversations are not always comfortable. But one thing that we cannot do, for it to just truly be resolved and get past things or see how we can really do better, don't ask the question if you don't want to know the true answer. Okay. If you don't want to know, don't ask. But the thing is, to get past those things, it's not, don't run from it. Don't get offended at the question. That's the main thing. And I think that's a lot of what we do. If it's something that your spouse, wants to know, or if it's something that's bothering them, don't run from it. I say just deal with it. Yeah. Just deal with it. But we have to learn how to deal with it with grace and with kindness. You may have all kind of fireworks going off on the inside, but we still have to be careful how we deal with our spouse. It's not saying that we're walking on eggshells, but how would you want to be responded to if it was the other way around.
Yeah.
You know.
So Toya, she said, pray on it, then go for it. That's right, and I believe that.
That's right,
you
Victoria.
Victoria, you pray for it because you do want to have the right atmosphere, and it has to be the right time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you don't always have to have an answer. You may ask the question, the answer may come at another time. Mm-hmm. You get me?
Yeah. I remember both of you said to pray over that. That's right. All the time. Yeah. No matter what, you have to pray over the atmosphere. Because
you want that atmosphere when they come home to be an atmosphere. It don't mean come home and, hey, I really got something I really want to talk to you about, blah, blah, blah. As soon as they come through the door, don't do that. I mean, let them come through the door to the atmosphere that you have created. Mm-hmm. It's calm. Right. It's clean. Mm-hmm. There's a smell of food, whether it's takeout or cooked or whatever, or left or whatever it is, and let that person decompress or start relaxing. Right. And so then, if it's the time, because you've been praying, the Spirit of God will let her or myself know that now you can ask the question. Mm-hmm. But if they start rattling off all the stuff that they've been through for all that day, then you might want to just wait for the time that God gives you.
I love that. Victoria said, create your battle scene. Don't let the devil do it for you. Mm-hmm. Sis, I got to steal that from you. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. I love that. Create your battle scene. Don't let the devil do it for you.
And remember, we talked about what is your war cry last week. Get on there.
That's
Get on there, Victoria. So, when we talk about confessing your faults one to another, you already read that?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I saw it highlighted.
Confess your faults, but that's why I started talking about that. Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another, that you may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Now, what that doesn't mean is don't play the blame game. So if they confess their faults to you, you don't take a needle and start sticking your spouse in them little spots. You know, after they confess this, the thing is to confess it to one another, pray for one another, and you get through it together, not against one another. So that means you don't, have an argument somewhere down the road and then you take what they confess to you and throw it back in their face. That's not what that's about.
And that's no closure. That means that you haven't been truly set free from that if you got to bring it back up. Because there's nothing to discuss. Right. Once that's been given over to God, it shouldn't even be brought up no more. It should be dead. Because now you've resurrected stuff that you prayed for. When we talk about pray power and you pray for some deliverance from something, or you pray that God will cover something, or you pray that God will open up an avenue for conversation so that healing can take place, or the things that, were under the surface, underneath the ground that needed to be dealt with and brought up open, you just really went backwards about 15 or 20 steps when you do that. Because that's something that should have been covered with the blood. You've already prayed for the atmosphere of your home. You've already asked God, these are the things that I see in my spouse. There are different things, but I want to concentrate on this one, Lord. And then now the spouse is changing in that, and then you start talking about something that happened before, and here it is. You back to ground zero. Now where you had a foundation, you don't even have a foundation anymore. You got to post new concrete to get ready to build whatever it is. And so that just take you a step back. So I would say I would encourage you not to do that. Once you give something over to God, you've prayed. Whether you prayed together or you prayed in isolation because you wanted to pray for them, because at this point, it wasn't really the time for them to do that, then, hey, you pray for each other and you let God do what he's going to do. What's the last one?
So the last scripture is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 11. And let's
17.
see.
I think it's 17. I think it's 17. Let's try that.
Will she learn how to read?
No, I almost not the one. Yeah.
I wanted to read what LaWanda said. Sometimes it's brought up because they fully didn't acknowledge it years later and the habits. Exactly. That's true. That is one, because it was never fully dealt with. You kind of dealt with half of it and maybe swept the other half of it under the rug. But dirt and dust piles up. So it's going to create that bump on the rug or in the rug that you swept it under in the first place. So if it comes up again, it wasn't fully dealt with, pray over the atmosphere first. Ask God to just fully be in the midst of you both, that the words that come out of your mouth are not vicious, they're not malicious, and that they receive it the way that God wants them to receive it. Then you go and deal with that thing.
And I think the other thing is that when we talked about a long, several broadcasts before about what the root cause is. And so you have to be real careful about how you deal with your spouse. Because if you know that you see what potentially could be a root cause of something, excuse me, and you're praying for specific areas, and you start to see improvement in that, there are layers to something, like you said, LaWanda, if it's built up over years. And sometimes in life, God will do what is immediate. And then sometimes, because of the process that the person needs to go through, peeling off layers.
Right.
Peeling off layers. Now, if you see what could potentially be the root cause, then every time you see a layer peeled off, you're supposed to celebrate that. You celebrate that. How do I celebrate? I give him a hug. How do I celebrate that? I give him a kiss. How do I celebrate that? I slide him a card of encouragement. How I celebrate that? I slip a note in the car, on a sticky note on the steering wheel. How do I do that? So that way, that support is there, and it has peeled off another layer. It's not going to always be that it's just going to be, because while or your spouse, I say, is going through that process, you yourself are learning something too in the process of the layers being peeled off. Because
and
that means
also
that
with that, we talked about changing your response when those things do come back up and you're dealing with them again.
Yeah.
Last week,
we talked about that. Yes, we actually talked about that last week and the week before. It's about don't respond in a way that's going to entice more conflict.
Right.
Settle back, take a breath. If you don't want to say, don't say anything.
Right. So once you start changing your response, they're going to start changing some of their actions too.
So, you you didn't read it.
Right. So our last scripture is 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 17, and it basically says, pray without ceasing.
So now we can talk about what pray without ceasing means. It's very easy. I mean, praying over your food every day is a way of praying without ceasing, because it's building a habit. You pray over your food, because sometimes, we buy stuff from other places and we don't know what's being done behind the scenes. You pray for the food that you buy at the store, because stuff is going on with the food behind the scenes. You pray over your food. You pray over your money. You pray over your tithes and offerings. You pray over your children when they go to school. You pray for your trip on your way to work, that you get from point A to point B safely. You pray that when you get ready to do a presentation, that, Lord, you take the nerves out. You allow me to do and execute this plan that I have put together with your help. So that's one of the things that you can do when we talk about pray without ceasing. Lord, I apply for this job. If it is your will, and if it is the open door that I'm supposed to walk through, then the door will open. I will walk through the door. I won't have to look down to see if my feet are on solid ground. Right. I can just go forward. It is the door open unto me. If the door is closed, Lord, I will not complain, because I have built a relationship with you and understand that my life is a life of servitude, then I will understand and take it, not to heart, that I really wanted that. Yes, we understand that, but God, let me take a breath. That's not a door that you wanted me to walk through at this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a place where you wanted me to be at this time. But if you're going to open the door and make it happen,
right.
and then you get on the other side and you find out it's not what it was supposed to be or whatever, you do that on your own and you get whatever that is, and then you go back because you still didn't finish the process. Right. That's why sometimes we have to sit in certain areas of our life for a while. So when
you that's called letting him truly have control over the situation. Because if you prayed about it and you gave it to him, let him deal with it. Let him handle it. And what he has for you is for you. So if it's for you, it's going to be seamless. Mm-hmm. If it's not for you, okay, Lord, I thank you. You know, it's maybe some other things. What do you want me to learn during this time while I'm remaining where I am?
I see what you said, LaWanda. So you say you pray for calmness at work and it works 75% this week. That's good. Mm-hmm. It's amazing the doors God breaks down for me, and there's no fear when I walk through. Yeah, because you know, and he's told you to proceed. So hey, you go forward. If the door is closed, you can. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're not going to be hurt. Trust me, that's not even realistic. But because of your relationship with God, if it's one where you really been listening to him, then you would understand that this is not somewhere I need to be right now. I got to lick my wounds or whatever, but understand that God, you're in control. You will not have me to stay right here unless you needed me to. Right. Or he could be working something out, and he can be. I've seen in situations where there were people that God they moved out of the way, and the very thing that you want, even though it wasn't this year, was the thing that you actually were able to accomplish in another time, because he had to move some people out the way so that when you got in that position where you needed to be, you had to worry about that type of individual. He helped you. He paved the way for you so that when you start in your new process, even though you may start with some difficulties just because of the new nuances of the job, is that, hey, he moved somebody on out the way. Right. So I want to read this because it's going to be very important as we close out, but I want to share some things with you from the devotional from today. It says, the greatest gift you can give your loved one is faithful prayer. As the one who knows your spouse's deepest struggles, fears, and temptations, you're able to pray for every facet of their life. Pray diligently for your partner's walk with God. Ask for the word to renew their mind and give them wisdom. Call out to God for victory over sin and doubt. Let him direct you in serving him together. Okay. Ask for God's blessing on their work each day. Look to him for strength and endurance. Trust him to provide opportunity and prosper one another's talents. Seek God to know how to encourage and comfort your spouse. Ask for eyes to see and understanding their troubles. Pray for patience and compassion when they fail. Look to him to fill you with his grace in every situation. Prayer invites the power of God into the life of your spouse and your marriage. Trust him to do more than you could ever ask or imagine. And it always wraps up with this prayer. It says, Lord, help us to pray continually for one another. Let us have each other. It says, let us love each other well by bringing our needs and praises to you. So my question to you is, when we talk about these different things, there was a lot of different things that they mentioned about prayer. Praying for your loved one is a prayer without ceasing. There should not be a day when you're not praying for the people that you love. And what does that mean? You got a lot of people you could be praying for, because the Bible also say pray for those that love you and despitefully. It say pray for the ones that despitefully use you. Right. When they try to run game, pray for them too. So you got a lot of things in a lot of areas that you could be praying for.
Right.
But it says pray diligently for your partner's walk with God. We are all on different levels when we're pursuing life. But the equally yoked part with Millicent and myself is that we both believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. We both believe that He died on the cross. He was raised on the third day. We believe that we should confess our sins to God and then move forward. So when you have that bond and you have that equally yoked peace in life, it's a little bit easier to work. But there are people that don't have that equally yoked. So then you say, Lord, I pray for balance. I pray, Father God, that you raise up my husband to the level that you want him to be at. I pray that you raise up the level of where you want my wife to be at. I pray that, Lord, you anoint our conversation that we will tell the truth, but we will do it in love. You know, there are so many things that if we change and frame the way we give the package, you can give a gift to anyone, but the way you package it determines how they will receive it. I've said that before, and I will say that again. You know, you can tell somebody the truth. The way you package it, it's going to determine the way they receive it. Yeah. Some people will.
I know that's an area I have to work on. I'm still working on it. I think I've gotten better.
Yes.
I don't know, but I know that there's something I still have to work on. You know, because I'm that friend that, you know, and I've said it before. I'm that friend that I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know, if I see something or you ask me a question, I'm not the friend that's going to hold your hand and say, "Oh yes, I understand. If you're wrong, you're wrong." You know, but I'm gonna give you something to back it up. I'm not just giving you my opinion. You know, and so that's one thing you never have to worry about me. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat the truth. You know, so I have to work on that area.
She's looking at me like it's, you know, like, what is this? She looking.
Well, sometimes he say my responses are a little bit raw. You know, I need to cook them a little bit, simmer it a little bit. You know, but so I'm working on that. So y'all pray for me.
So, but there's so many things, and she's right. You know, and I have my issues too. And so, but I like that in the quietness of an evening, and when the moment is right to be able to ask these questions. And sometimes it's not really for you to answer then. I think that now I'm just learning that it's just something to think about. And then you need to reflect. Some questions you don't have to answer right then. You can reflect that your spouse has brought up something, and, you know.
Which verse? Now that last one was a prayer in the devotional, Rwanda, if that's what you're talking about.
It was coming from this. And so I was reading, well, I can't turn it because it's going to be backwards. But yeah. So this is the devotional after all of the scriptures. The last verse that we did read was, it was 1 Thessalonians 5:17, praying without ceasing. So we're talking about so many different things about prayer. Asking God to bless your spouse each day at the workplace.
Right. Look
to Him for strength and endurance. Because if you're going to be a person that prays, then you have to, I'm telling you, you got to pray without ceasing. And doing that, you have to have some endurance. So like running a mile in under 6 minutes, that's tough on an athlete. Now for strong athletes that's in track, that ain't nothing. But for people that play in sports like football and stuff, that's like the two tests that they always give you. Half mile test, it better be under 3 minutes, and the mile, it better be under 6. A lot of them come in before that. But, you know, we have different body types in football. And sometimes, you know, they can't get around there in that time. But what we know is that the endurance is as you keep doing it, it makes it easier for you to be able to do that. Okay, we'll make sure that we put it in there. We'll actually take a picture.
I'll post it as soon as we get finished.
Yeah. So LaWanda, what we'll do is Millicent will take a picture of today's devotional, and then you can go back and read it for yourself. Share it with your spouse, however you want to do it.
And you know, I think what I'm going to do to make it easy, I'll post it 2 ways. I'll post it regularly on my page, and I'll also post it in the comments on this video.
Okay,
I'll do it that way.
Okay. And so this is just different things, and it's talking about seeking God to know how to encourage and comfort your spouse. You know, that's why I say if there's issues going on, you better figure out how you can go in and tone that stuff down. You know, like I said, a sticky note, just a quick something, a delivery of a lunch.
Right.
You know, whatever it is that you can do to show that you are trying to build up the marriage in a positive way, you do. But celebrate the small wins. Because if a person feel like you ain't celebrating them small wins, they really are not going to give you the effort that you deserve.
Well, what's the point of me trying? You didn't even notice when I did such and such.
So if you're not celebrating them small wins, they're going to be like, nah, man, I'm not going to really go any further.
Yeah.
But if you celebrate the small wins, give them encouragement.
Right.
You see things that they're struggling with. And I think that sometimes we try to push it toward they was just struggling with it with me. They've been struggling with it before you. You either just didn't see it, or you thought that the love would make it go away. Dang, love don't make stuff go away. You have to address it,
right?
And then pray over it, and then watch the person grow through it. Not go through it, but grow through it.
Right.
And so then you'll see that when we're praying over the areas in our life that need development, that need support. So I didn't say that, you know, it's a weakness and stuff like that. That's what people say. But when you're praying over an opportunity for growth and development, that's why I said an opportunity for growth.
Right.
Okay.
And Miss Charlie, you're 1,000% right. You know, she said it's okay to pray without ceasing because an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Is a workshop for the devil. Absolutely right.
What this girl say?
Absolutely right.
What did she say? A Pepsi and hot Cheetos work too.
You said, stop it. Oh.
All right. And what you say, Steve? You said you guys should compile these lessons and the responses and replies and put them in a book. Well, guess what? We're writing a book.
Yay!
We're writing a book as we speak. We're behind on some of our work on the book, but we've already started writing the book.
So, cousin, that's an awesome, excellent idea, and because you said that, yes, we will incorporate those.
We can incorporate those now because we were writing. It was mostly about a story about us, but we can incorporate the lessons in there. So, thank you for again when we sit and we have these dreams and visions about what we can accomplish, they cannot sit and just collect dust.
Right.
Those things are for growth. Those things are for the legacy that you want to build. Because when it's all said and done, it's not going to be about the money because the money goes back to you're going back to the dust where you came from. Money will go to whoever it goes to. Yeah. So my thing is, you know, as we continue to push ourselves and as we continue to just be honest and open with each other and pray one for another, then we get there.
That is awesome. So we need your help and congratulations on writing your second book, girl.
All right, Katrina, you're on book number 2. That is so cool. All right, girl.
That is awesome.
Do that. Published author. There we go. So we will make sure that we post this because I really thought about how powerful this was. Prayer invites the power of God into the life of your spouse and your marriage. Yeah. Trust God to do more than you could ask or imagine. You know, it's a process. It takes time.
That's right. LaWanda said, put a deadline on it. That's it. Because that's going to push you to reach that goal. So, yes, ma'am. So, Stephen and LaWanda, yep, we got it.
Thank you for your encouragement. You know, we do have to put a deadline on it so we can finish.
Also, I want y'all to make sure you go throughout the week and check the Marriage Matters Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group for Marriage Matters, check it out. and make sure you get in there, because I do a lot of posting on the Marriage Matters Facebook page and the Marriage Matters couples group during the week. I try to do a lot of that. I may put an encouraging video on there, and I do a lot of posting out of this book too. So go back and check out the one from day before yesterday.
Yeah,
it was really, really good. And I may just go back and reshare it again. Yes, definitely. We'll make sure we do that too, because that's what it's all about, is hearing different people's perspectives, and just continue to elevate and uplift one another and other marriages.
Yeah, because we've not been through the same things.
Exactly. So you want to know, you want to learn from other people. You grow and learn from others' experiences as well. Their victories as well as their failures. So it's to take it all in and to learn. Last thing, I asked earlier this week, and I only got 2 responses for if you have a graduating senior. Please send me their picture and their name so I can put a video together so we can celebrate these babies. We have one as well, so I only have 3 pictures and 3 names. So if y'all got them in, whether they're your child, your niece, your nephew, brother, sister, whoever, if they are a graduating senior, please send me a picture and their name so we can celebrate these babies, because, this pandemic got us all locked up. So anyway, we want to shout out to our babies and let them know we appreciate them and congratulate them.
Because we're going to have a big deal next weekend. So I don't know if we're going to broadcast it live or not, but I think we might. Yeah. Because I want my baby to understand that we can find ways to do stuff. And I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but I just want to,
okay.
We went to my daughter's school, and, I don't know if the email was not scrolled all the way to the top, but our baby was able to, we decorated the truck. I know if you saw some of the posts on Facebook, we decorated the back of the truck. My truck is made where you can get into the back of the bed through the back seat. And so we didn't have our baby sitting out in the sunlight baking as we drove all the way to the school. But when we got close to the bus drop off, she slid through that part in the back of the truck, sat in a lawn chair, had on her gloves, had on her mask, and she received her cap and gown. Now, we wasn't doing that to poke fun, but we was doing that to give her an opportunity to be celebrated.
Right.
The principal went right to her, gave her cap and gown, let her know that she appreciated her. And the principal was the only one, Miss Holt, I will say her name. She was the only one handing out those cap and gowns. And so she made it personal to us seniors. And I know that had to be very taxing on her because she had to do that over 693 times.
So Miss Holt, principal of Glenda Dawson High School, we honor and celebrate you.
Because you
do
so
amazing.
Much. Yeah, you do a great job for the kids. And so we're gonna do a big time celebration with a parade with people.
We're gonna do a drive-through party for our baby. Yeah. So stay tuned. I will post them. And I would like for y'all, if y'all know her, y'all can just please drive through, just come show her some love, support her. But I'll post those. The details. Katrina, I want to say at least by, I'm trying to work on it tomorrow. So if I could get those at least by 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, that would be great.
Okay.
So, and I'll make sure I go back and post it again on Facebook and say that the deadline is 5 o'clock tomorrow. So we are going to let you go. Also, please go and check out our YouTube channel, because we do have one. It's over 40 videos on there now. It's almost 50.
It's almost close to 50. I think it was 45 3 weeks ago. So we probably at 48.
Yeah.
So it's so many different titles and things that you can go and check out on there. And even if it's not for you, please refer somebody to that channel, because there are different aspects of what we discuss with family, with marriage, with disappointments, with victories, that you can be able to give them that information, and they can go and look at it at any time so that they can rewind, pause, whatever. Because there are things in there that we could discuss that they can go back and reflect on, just like we do ourselves.
Miss Charlie, thank you so much. You
Thank you,
always
Miss
got me,
Charlie.
my sister. I appreciate
Yes.
you. Answer your question, LaWanda. The walk has now been scheduled for June the 4th. The only thing is they're having it at the stadium and they're only allowing 2 parents. That's it. So I mean, we just because of the whole social distancing thing, we're not able to have our friends and family. But what I'm going to try my best to do is just live stream it when it gets to her part, and I'll be posting that. I post a lot of stuff, but please again go to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Not only check it out, we want you guys to please subscribe.
Yes.
Share it with other people. Whatever you got to do. We love you all. We thank you so much for the support and the love that you all always give us. And Patrina, we received that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Miss Kingsley.
Hey, Sheila.
All right.
I miss my hugs. My Sunday hugs.
That big boy growing up, Miss Kingsley. That big baby. I know he moving around. If he walking now, we know he getting into it now.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Wow, Dobie is July the 30th. Okay.
Some school districts are larger than others, and so they do them in different
So you got a senior this year, LaWanda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need his picture and I need a name. Please and thank you. By 5 o'clock tomorrow evening.
5.
So we can get this done. So we're going to let you guys go. Enjoy your Saturday, beautiful Saturday. We're going to go, I don't know. I'm going to go work on some stuff. So, and then I'll go back and make sure I post this picture on the end of the video too. But we love you guys, and we'll see you next Saturday if we don't do a quick chime in during the week. And we'll see you then. We'll see you next Saturday so we can talk about more marriage matters.
Because your marriage matters. And also happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, all of the women of power, the women of strength, the warriors that you are, the nurturers that you are. Happy Mother's Day. It is not just for tomorrow. It is not. You are a warrior Monday through Sunday, or however you want to say it, 24 hours a day. You eat warring in your sleep. We thank you, mothers, that don't ever give up, that don't ever quit. Thank you, mothers, teachers, nurturers, lovers. I don't know. There's so many things you can say, but happy Mother's Day to all of our wonderful mothers out there.
Bye.